The two recalled the elderly woman saying on the phone that her home was the largest on the lake, and that it was the last house on a dead end. Corky seemed to walk with a swagger, while Lucy kept tripping on her 9-inch high heels. She unfortunately only owned what some like call hooker shoes. She figured the old hag would just think she was somewhat tall in height. It took the two about 20 minutes to reach their destination. When they did, they couldn't help but smile. The home was gorgeous in every way, shape, and form. The two were frozen for a moment with delight. It looked like a potential castle to the two. Lucy and Corky stared at one another for a brief moment. Neither one of them couldn't stop smiling. Corky decided that it would be best to allow Lucy to do most of the talking. She had a lot more experience sugarcoating things than him. Plus, he was right out of the slammer. For some reason, guys right out of the slammer tend to come across a little rougher than their normal self for a short time. Once out, men have to tone it down back to normal again. It's just the way the world works, thought Corky. Lucy thought to herself that the home didn't have a giant wraparound porch, but it had a beautiful balcony on the second floor overseeing the front drive. She figured it was good enough for her and Corky. As the two walked up to the old woman's home, the old woman answered the door before Lucy could even knock. The old woman seemed to be pretty spry for an older lady. It all surprised Lucy just a bit at how fast the old woman was ready for them. The old lady invited the two inside and led them straight into her living room. "Can I get you two some hot tea, or perhaps some coffee?" Lucy smiled and responded, "Absolutely. We would really love that." She attempted a little bit of an English accent, but forgot that she didn't really do that over the phone. The old woman didn't pay any attention at all. She disappeared for several minutes into her kitchen, leaving Lucy and Corky to sit by themselves inside of her living room. Corky's eyes seemed to widen as he stared at all the paintings on the walls. Lucy seemed to be studying various things in the home, wondering what they were worth. The two were well versed in gauging how much they could get for items on the street or inside of a pawn shop. "I think we really scored," said Corky. Lucy just smiled and nodded her head. "Just keep your dang mouth shut, Corky," Lucy responded. Corky tightened his lips but smirked as he did so. He knew the two were sitting somewhere nicer than they had ever sat before. It definitely beat jail for Corky, and it definitely beat the shady, rat-infested, cockroach-infested Section 8 apartment she was getting evicted out of. Within a few short minutes, the elderly woman re-entered the living room with 3 cups of coffee.